Play the clip, Envy.
What's up, guys? It's Envy. We're back with a sit down with Envy episode. Now, you will recognize my guest. He was here on the last episode about 12 months ago, and we're back.
What's up? It's Collat, your boy.
My boy, the guy
Yeah.
who left me,
He's content guy.
my content guy.
The guy that pulls in all the clips. The guy that he quotes out of context.
I've never done that in my life. Don't worry, just wait. Wait till we talk about the people.
About 7 minutes in, there's gonna be 3 of these clips.
Maybe. You do like saying some outlandish things.
Okay, it's partially my fault. I will admit to that.
It's not mine. I just set it up. So since the last episode, we've had a lot. Now we're gonna start off with the non-League of Legends topic. How was Japan?
Dude, it was awesome, actually. It's an incredible country. Like, I could talk about it for so long, but
Maybe not too long.
yeah. But like, we went over there during December, so it's Christmas time. It's sort of like a month-long Valentine's for them because it's such a it's a couple's holiday. And they go through a lot of effort to put up Christmas lights and shit everywhere. Like, you go down your main street anywhere, and there'll be a couple Christmas decorations and lights and stuff. But over there, it's a totally different world. It's just and
Oh, your mic was
it
cutting
was
out.
oh no.
Collat with his technical difficulties. Okay, we're
Is
good
it
now.
there?
Yeah, we're good now.
Okay. Yeah, it's just like an incredible place. The people there are amazing. The city is awesome. It's so dense, but then also when you go out to the countryside, it's really rural.
Yeah.
And the nature is amazing. It's just I've got to go back. There's so many things that I want to do. Unfortunately, I got sick halfway through, so I was sick for about 10 days. We got kept over there for another 3 days because of the cyclone in Cairns. But like, aside from the downside of the trip, like what I did get to do was just mind-blowingly incredible.
Yeah.
Once in a lifetime type thing. I think like, yeah, just absolutely incredible city, incredible country, incredible people. The people were so fun to talk to as well. They always love to practice like English. They really, really care when you attempt to speak Japanese first as well.
Yeah. Well, it's a sign of respect, right? Like,
yeah, for sure. Them. Yeah. And then also you just say that you're Australian and their like for you just doubles or triples. Like, they think you're American at first, you say you're from Australia and they're like, "Oh, Australian, very good." And they'll fuck the Americans basically. It's so funny.
It do be like that.
Yeah.
So like, my one question then, right, is you did touch on you'd like to go back.
Absolutely.
Would you not like to go to South Korea though?
I do. I'd like to go to Korea. But like, not for the same reasons in a way. Like, I'd go to Korea and play League for a week, which is so degenerate. But
yeah, but like, imagine.
Yeah.
Be pretty insane.
What, boys boot camp to Korea?
Yeah, one day.
That would be fun, actually.
One day.
No, I would like to go to Korea, experience some other things, but I'm not a travel person.
Yeah.
I just don't like it. So if I'd go, it'd be during my next Japan trip. I'd have like a few days in Korea just as a stopover.
Yeah.
On the end or on the start of the journey, just because it's not travel for me isn't that exciting. There's only been 2 places I've ever wanted to go to. That was Japan and the like Scandinavia, like wilds, which is like my heritage. It's where I wanna, like where my family came from. Is where I'd want to go back and see. Those are the only 2 places that really pull me to anything. There's like events, of course, like LCS or Worlds or like different things that are hosted international, but I just it's the event that I want to go to, not the location.
Yeah. I mean, Worlds is at the O2 in 2024.
In where?
The O2, so that's London.
Oh.
So it's back in Europe.
Okay. That one could be attainable. For sure wouldn't want to go to Worlds in a country that doesn't speak English. It'd be really complex to try and get into.
Yeah, I'd love Worlds in Australia. It would never happen because the region itself is so bad. But
No, but okay. See, like I'm sort of getting this point across on Twitter. We are the
Oh, here we
comedy
go.
content region.
The comment. Yeah,
We
you
aren't.
got Pardon,
We're not
yeah.
going to be the best region. We were never going to be even like internationally competitive with the top four, aside from the outlier LCS LEC teams that are like sometimes in top four when they shit the bed.
The shit ones, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So we're not. We're like. I love our region. Don't get me wrong. I'm very patriotic to Australia. I will support the boys in anything that they do. Um, but we're not going to be competitive. Don't have the resources to commit to it, especially when our Macca's wage just got cut in half. Like,
Our Macca's wage.
yeah, dude, you don't see the LCO rate wages got like
Uh,
slashed. Yeah, oh, dude, they're literally less than a Macca's wage now. It's not even a full cheeseburger. You get 3 nuggets a
uh,
week.
those
It's
nuggets
no,
are
it's
pretty nice
tragic.
though.
It's not. But like when you can't even compete as a job, when it's not a respected
Yeah.
profession in the country, which isn't an esports issue. It's the country doesn't view esports as anything real. Like it's our old government type. Like it's a cultural thing,
The
which we
boomer
won't get
thing.
over. Yeah, which it's unfortunate we can't get over it. But what we can do is capitalize on the gap that exists. That no region is as funny as us, or as interesting, or as
That sounds
diverse in
like Coke.
content. We always have no. Anytime you see another team come across and be like, "Wow, the Australian audience is so insane." The only two people, the only two like countries that I hear anything close to us is the French and the Brazilians, with
Yeah.
like K Corp and like what was the CS:GO team?
I wouldn't
The
know.
same one with Fallen and Freiburg. They used to not Freiburg, used Nip. Um,
Yeah, yeah, you're talking to me about a
yeah.
game that I don't play. Yep.
Yeah.
CSGO,
Okay,
yeah.
but anyway, the CS:GO Brazilian like region goes hard, but they always come to Australia and they're like, "Wow, there's so much energy, there's so much excitement, there's so much
Yeah.
comedic value. We're so chill here. We're doing shoeies on stage in the middle of professional tournaments
Of
because it's
course.
funny. Like we are the comedy region, so we should just go to these international events and represent Australia as the people who are down to compete, be the underdogs, try
Yeah.
hard, and are funny and
I
love to
mean,
make content and want to interact with people.
yeah. Side note,
There's the space for us.
Tai Tuivasa quite well liked in the UFC. He does shoeies after his fights
Yeah, yeah.
when he
Exactly.
wins.
That's what I'm saying. Like we just represent the culture in the country in a way that no one else can.
Yeah, alcohol.
Well, okay. We
Yeah.
don't have to be alcoholic, but you're not wrong.
Yeah, Australia might have a problem.
Yeah.
We don't. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
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 Uh, anyway.
Right. The season just started. How's your solo queue?
Really good. 21-13. Got a like 5 game loss streak with a couple of inters, but you know, it happens.
Oh, I didn't know your
Um,
doors were enters. Weird.
no, they weren't my duos actually. They were just like randoms,
Ah,
like just usually top laners.
weird.
It's
Those
like
pesky top laners.
yeah, yep. No, it's uncanny how often the top laners just like I blind picked Camille and got a Mordecai as a counter pick. I'm gonna run it down 0-10 now.
Oh, well, that's your fault.
Yeah, it was my bad. Even though we were blue side and no one had counter pick anyway, unfortunately. Yeah.
Not your problem, unfortunately. You didn't gank
Yep.
that lane pre-6. Unlucky.
Real 80 carry ganks.
I
No, but
mean,
new season comes with lots of item changes, map rework, all the void stuff that's come in. I think it's interesting. I love learning about the new stuff.
yeah.
There's a pretty solid understanding on some of the meta. There's a lot of inflammatory opinions flying around on Twitter. There are people saying 80 carries dog shit. Some people saying 80 carries the best in the best it's ever been. There are jungle haters, jungle sympathizers. The one thing I'll tell you for sure, the Exodia class of champions are still the meta champs. Like your Riven, your Aurelia, your Gwen. These champions are just like build basically bruisers, but not
Yeah.
your Darius. Like your high mobility bruisers. They are just
Still there.
arguably the best in the game by far. And if we didn't have tank 80 carries, we'd get one shot by him anyway. So
Yeah, you just like get one shot as an 80 carry.
yeah, yeah, it's actually so kind of unplayable. Get hit by one skill shot and it's you dead. And I'm like, I've
Don't
got
get hit
200
by the
armor of
skill
MR,
shot,
it don't
brother.
matter. Yeah, my bad. I got
Don't be
flash
hit.
fucking E'd by Riven.
My Jax. Oh,
Yeah, flash Q E'd by Jax. My bad, my bad. I was on his screen. My mistake.
that is your mistake. No one else's mistake.
Real.
But I have played two solo queue games today. In the first one, I ran into my old teammates, Trashcan and Hirogi. Lost that
Did they
game.
dumps you? Did they?
Wow. Technically, I lost.
I know you lost, but did they dumpster? Neither of them were in your lane though. Yeah.
No. But my enemy laner was 18-0.
Oh, well.
So
H and O and O.
anywho.
Not
So
and two, not and three, and O.
look, Fizz man, it's just unplayable.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, don't get.
yeah. That changes your
Nah,
entire opinion.
absolute like PDF champion, bro.
And then I played the next one. I'm like, oh
Mm,
yeah, because I was in queue at the same time as you. I was in queue at the same time as Vim again, and I was in the
yeah.
same queue as Sup Mitch.
Mm.
So I think that's Seraph. I can't. It's on my friends list. Anywho, and and so next thing I know, I'm playing into Jacko in lane with Sup Mitch in the bot lane. I'm like, ah. And we're playing Nico into Talia. Neither of us actually do very well in this game, but his team
And
beats
we're
my team.
0-2.
Yeah, and now we're 0-2. Still
Yeah.
higher elo than you are. Unfortunate.
Unfortunate, you got placed higher. Dude, as I said, I have 65% win rate. Negative gains already. After Riot just released a 3-page document explaining how, yeah, we fucked up. Everyone that was low MMR is gonna get a very harsh reset, which I got. I got the gold one reset. They're like, if you have negative win rate, we are still gonna not try and give you negative gains unless your MMR is super low. They're like, yeah, it should be really hard to have negative gains. Yet here I am, plus 17, minus 25, with 65% win rate
Yeah.
after climbing out.
Of the
There's
depths.
yeah, right has it down for me, man.
It's because you're an 80 carry player.
Real.
It's 80 carry players are just not it.
Real.
So, last we spoke, to my knowledge, we had not formed the team yet of the MCOM Cavalry,
No.
if I'm not
No, we had not.
mistaken. We may have, but I do know for a fact none of the tournaments had happened.
We hadn't had it on this.
Yeah. So, to quickly remind any of the viewers, so our roster was MCOM Cavalry. We had Cinder in the top lane, Monroe in the jungle, myself in the carry position of mid lane. Collat
In
was
the
Collat.
actual carry position.
He didn't win a lot of games though.
In 80.
And
Oh.
Dizzy, our support.
Yeah.
Now we played in 2 tournaments.
Yep.
It was 2 ladders, right?
Yeah, one was a one-night tournament.
Which we won. Oh yeah.
Which we
So-
smoked.
So we had the Revolt tournament, which is the one night tournament. It was meant to be double elim, but it was really late for New Zealand, so they did some fuckery.
It was like
and-
1 a.m. Melbourne time, let alone
Yeah.
NZ time.
Yeah, because I ran
It-
down. So in that tournament, the only notable team was WKW Alpha, which is the team with
Mm.
Gay Dad Sparky on it. And then
Yeah.
they were trialing mid jungles, and the top laner was Penguin.
Yeah, I think it was Penguin.
It was either Swelfie or Penguin, one of the two. I think it might have been Penguin.
I have a feeling it was Penguin.
Yeah, and so in this tournament, we matched into them in the second or third
Second
round.
last, third round. Because I know
Um,
fourth round, it wasn't them.
Yeah, it was because they didn't make it through the losers bracket because they can the loser bracket halfway through.
Yeah, because I've got it.
Yeah.
I've got the last game's VOD.
Yeah, so we played them. We beat them. I was having a field day with their mid trial, who I think was like a gold player at the time. So it's not,
Yeah,
nothing
it
special.
was. They were for sure down on the mid jungle. That was
Yeah.
because they switched that up immediately as soon as we entered. As soon as that tournament
as soon
was
as
over.
yeah.
Which to be fair, they weren't like you know how you have developmental talent.
Yeah.
Some talent that you're gonna stick with. You're gonna produce into better players. You're gonna help them learn stuff, and then you've got people that won't learn and
Yeah.
increase. Um, from like what we'd seen, the amount of production and resources they would have required to get to a state of competition was more than they were willing to invest because it was Penguin Barky Gaydads just kind of wanted to
They
play for
they
fun. They'd moved to Alpha away from Academy because Alpha is the boys that just rock up and play.
yeah.
Academy is the real tryhard sweats,
So
who do a lot of training.
from what I know, without giving away too much of what people had said,
Mm,
they they didn't want, because obviously you only have X amount of resources for a team,
yeah.
right? There were people on that team that didn't want the majority of the resources having to go to the two new players, right? Who they didn't think would be up to their level fast enough.
Yeah, it
In
was just
which,
they had limited resources and way too much that was required. They
yeah,
needed some people that at a bit of a higher starting point to
yeah,
because when you're on a team with large skill disparities, really sucks.
I
Like
know.
you've experienced
I
it, I've
had one.
experienced
I
it.
had that one on cavalry. It was rough. My ball lane.
Yeah. Okay, but like I'd rather a general lower overall team that is more even in their understanding than some really high and really low players because when you sit down for group learning, everyone learns and practices at the same time. If you've got someone way higher on the understanding, they already know how to turret dive, how to set up dragon, like really
Yeah,
basic stuff, and the other people don't know that. Well, then that person's either gonna feel their time is being totally wasted practicing this stuff with these newer players, or the coach is just gonna be like, oh, well, half of you know how to do it, so they'll just teach you at some point anyway, and then the newer players don't actually get real training in it,
yeah.
and the mismatch of knowledge just keeps going, and it just becomes really really
Well, I
hard to
mean,
play.
you also when you play in the actual games themselves. So I've played
Mm,
on. So I went from the Gap roster into a bunch of like floundering teams in a way, where
mm,
their solo queue ranks might have been very much the same, but just the fives like level was so much lower. What would happen is I'm kind of like handcuffed behind my back
mm,
because they throw all three bands at me, right? And then they put all the resources in the actual game into me as well. So unless
yeah.
I'm still able to pull off something monstrous, or like my team can then pick up the pieces, which because of how new they were, they couldn't. We would just lose the game off of the fact that I'm now in a really bad situation because they've put all their resources into me, like to shut
Mm,
down.
yeah.
And then, again, I'm a very egotypical player. Back then, weird, who would know? And all I get from other people on other teams is like, ah, you kind of suck now. And it's like, brother, they're wasting 4 bans a game, counter pick, and I'm getting roamed on by support and jungle at the same time at 3 minutes into the game. Like, it's just very, very difficult when you're in that kind of state. Because what would have happened and what did kind of happen in that game is I rolled the mid laner, right? Picked up a few solo kills. Now Gay Dads was on Zeri, I was on Vex, and the moment we got to a team fight, he would die because I had landed the Vex ult and there's no counterplay once I'm on top of him,
Mm,
right? And it's just super hard because a better player or a more fives orientated skilled player might not die to me in lane to give me the advantage
yeah.
to then let me snowball it onto their much better player. So
Yeah.
it's very
We
hard
we
when constructing a team.
we also had them like under the pump that game because mid lane was struggling. It obviously pulls resources,
Yeah,
pulls jungle resource, and then when like Gedad's Baki didn't have jungle resource. This is before they made their giant fucking skill up as well. They just switched from their style of playing like Samira Pantheon 2v2 kill every game to like, oh, let's actually learn how to scale and like play lane correctly.
yeah,
So like they were making quite a lot of mistakes. We had to like punish on them for a bit. Like they were still playing fine. It wasn't like, oh, we're destroying them solo kill, but it was like a 20 seed lead or something, a couple kills back and forth.
yeah,
But like when there is a drastic gap somewhere in the map, it does pull that focus. The jungle has to spend more attention around there. Their mid lane is not at a basic level to be able to roam or match roams or hold you from roaming.
Yeah.
Uh,
Because
so it just
it
warps the
was
entire
Vic
game.
versus
The entire
Akali.
game is warped.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And like that
Which,
lane for Akali is already unplayable.
yeah.
And then you go
Yeah.
down like if you try and match the roam, I will just kill her in the river. Because
Yeah.
you cannot match a fit assassin. And yes, I class Vex as an assassin depending on how you
She
build
for
it.
sure is. She's like an
Because
anti-assassin.
yeah. Yeah, so we played that game. We moved into the upper bracket finals, which became the finals because they didn't like. I'm convinced WKW would have ran that losers bracket and would have made it back to the
They
finals.
just couldn't be bothered.
Uh, nah, it was
Like
the
no
tournament organizers.
no one could be bothered playing at that
Yeah,
point. I mean, yeah.
yeah. Just because of the way the format went, and so we played the
Mm.
finals. This is a true stat to my however I'm remembering it. I had died one time up until the finals. And then in the finals, because it was 3 o'clock in the morning New Zealand time, I died 8 times in that one game.
It was close. We played 4 games. Your first 2 games, you had
Was it deathless?
you're deathless in the first game, 1 death in the second game, and then the WKW game you died like 2 or 3 times.
Yeah. Okay.
And
So
then the last one you were like fucking 2 and 9.
yeah, I was like
Actually, I can
straight running.
check. I have it open.
Oh, he can check where. But he's only got the VOD from the one game I ran down.
Yeah, I actually don't know what fucking happened to the other ones. I did record them all, but I think oh, that's right. I didn't have audio set on them, so they were
Yeah.
all soundless. And I was like, there's no point. I for sure just don't press tab at all, actually, so I can't.
Yeah, imagine not
Yeah.
wanting to know that your mid lane is running the game down.
Oh, there it is. There it is. I've got a 25-minute
Yeah.
tab.
So 25 minutes. What's the
At
stats?
25 minutes, you were 244. And
I died
then
a lot more than.
yeah, because there's like another 8 minutes. I remember you got caught top lane, like hitting tower alone like
Yeah.
twice. Especially one happens right before we end the game on like
Was that
a
not mid?
nuts
Did I not
turn.
get caught mid? I think you guys turn and fight. I think I get caught mid first. And
Oh
then
yeah, you get caught top later, and then you get caught mid.
yeah.
Oh, there must have been hella turns because I went from like 1 and 3, or no, I went from 2 and 3 to 9 and 3, and that's before we make the turn where.
Yeah. Well, I think I was dying in the fights, but setting you up potentially.
Not this one.
Nah.
No. I'm watching it. You're already dead. You're 2 seconds off respawning when this fight happens. Where Cinder walks on the tower as Malphite, gets caged and like absolutely destroyed. It's a 3v5. Cinder doesn't even get to ult out.
This is the one under the inhib, like inhib tower.
Yeah, in his mid tower. We're literally
that's the one we end the game off of. That yeah.
Yeah, Lulu, Ash, Poppy. We're getting chased down by Gwen. This is when Bloodthirster was like so disgustingly overpowered that I just face tanked a Veigar as Ash.
Yeah.
It was so funny. We cut out Kill Gwen. Lethal's procced. Vi gets destroyed. Mono peels super well. I take no damage. Jinx is legit free autoing me. I'm healing Jinx's autos per attack. BT was just so big. And then I copped the entire Veigar QWR, just out healed it.
Yeah, so we win this game.
And then end the game.
Which allows us to win the tournament. Now, I have a different opinion on this.
You literally scream, others. I'm going to bed, fuck you. Straight gone.
Yeah, well, brother, it would have been like 3 in the morning.
Yeah, no, I don't blame you, it's just like, funny as fuck.
You're allowed to tweet that out, by the way, if you want. But like
I might clip it up later.
Yeah, so we play that and we win, and then I'm not gonna lie, I think we all walked around with like a little bit more of an ego after winning that.
Oh, for real?
And I think that was the worst thing for us.
Because disagree, but to a different point.
So I think it was really bad because we then went in the next tournament thinking we were good. Right? Because if you go back and look at the skill of that Revolt tournament, there was no actual teams.
Well,
that WKW had parts,
that team that we just beat was a good team, though. That's the thing. They ended up doing really well. That was it was Drat, so the guy who I've just had top laner who just hit Masters. Bristle Rider. I don't remember the mid laner was like
Nah,
Dragon or
did
some
we
something.
not beat them earlier? No, we didn't
Stewie,
play them in the
Stewie and
tournament, did
Jay.
we?
That no, I just had it on the VOD right then. Their names are in it. That's the team that we bet to win.
Ah, no wonder it was so easy.
Stewie and Jay. So that's an actual like team
Yeah,
of that skill
that was
level
the
of that
Conquerors, right?
tournament.
I think that was
Uh,
that was Conquerors. It was the one that
don't remember the
wasn't in our
name.
group. Yeah, but
Yeah, but like that was a slightly above average team in that tournament
yeah,
that ended up doing well. Like, and we'd beaten them, so I think it was good. It was definitely like Desi needed that. Otherwise, Desi would not have like been she had issues obviously.
I think
In
we all did though.
yeah, no, but like she had confidence issue to a point that it was like I'd have to micro her in lane, which
Yeah,
takes away a lot of like my own concentration. But if she didn't have any amount of confidence in her prior, then lanes would have been a lot harder. We wouldn't have
yeah,
won even as many. Like it would have been like feeding like twice as hard type shit. I think it was good for Monroe to be like, oh yeah, cool, because it was Monroe and Cinder's like first tournament.
yeah. Oh,
So
I don't.
it was good. It was good for them to just have experience and be like, oh, okay, this is like we can win. Oh, that's sort of how it looks like.
Yeah, but I think if we were competitive and then we lost, then let's say we obviously not to WKW because we don't lose to them,
Mhm.
but like let's say we lost in the finals in a really close game, right? Then I think for the team atmosphere, yes, it would have sucked on the day because we lost,
Mm.
but I just think in terms of like for Cinder's ego, for my ego, because and I'm gonna say a little bit of your ego, right? It was like, yeah, we're top shit. We won that event, you know.
Uh,
I
I think the ego got made worse when tier list came out and we got ranked like near the fucking bottom. That made me fight the ego harder
yeah,
because I was like, "Oh, dude, this is clearly not right." Like I if you had to ask me where I was before it, I would have been like top five. But because I got
yeah.
put like not even in the top five, I was like, fuck, I'm top three. I'm fucking show you. Like, this is like not
I'm a show up. Yeah,
yeah. Which I think we
I
did
had that
because we
same
got some
mindset.
respect put on our name after a while. Just not like, but it was by the time that we were playing against like the super nuts teams that we were like, oh, we weren't getting rolled, but
So
games were a lot harder at that point.
yeah, because I remember this tournament, like the event, like pretty well. We
Mm.
played Knights in week one, where they actually had their actual like better mid laner. They had Masana playing, right?
Yeah,
Whereas like later in the tournament, it was Masana wasn't there, and it was like Pabu or something, like a gold player, but like
dude, that
he
is.
wasn't like he was like pretty good apparently according to others. I never actually laid
He
into
wasn't Masana, the guy who has a Masters account. Yeah.
him. But yeah, so we played them. We lost 2-0 because it was best ofs. And then we went on to win every other set in our group.
We
So
we
we
end up
in
4-2. Wait, did we
this
go to 0-2? Did we?
nah,
No, I mean
because
0-2 in the start. Did we?
we lost both games tonight.
Oh no, that's right. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah,
Both the games tonight. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. So we were 0-1
God,
in
they
the
were
matches.
really close games though.
Yeah, we nearly had them in some of those.
Like, but yeah, both of them we nearly had them, and it's
Yeah,
like, you know, when a 0-2 like scoreline doesn't show justice to how close the games were,
yeah,
like that really easily could have been 2-0 for us,
yeah,
like with some really small differences.
yeah. So
Which
we
was
had
nuts because we're
those.
playing against Masters mid there.
What do you mean he was a plat player?
No, yeah,
Um,
plat, yeah, yeah.
and
Before Emerald
so
plat,
yeah, because this is
yeah.
Iron's plat at the time.
Got to
So
clarify this before
we
Emerald, before the elo
yeah,
inflation.
yeah. What do you mean by that? I had diamond off this elo inflation of yours.
No,
So
the elo inflation stops before diamond.
I yeah,
So
of
like
course,
you actually
yeah.
got diamond, like yeah.
Anywho,
No,
back on.
seriously, genuinely, like the elo inflation gets you to emerald, and then like emerald is just a cesspool of like gold
Collat.
1 players that could never get to plat, and then D4 players that could never get higher. They've all been combined at the same spot, and it's such a cesspool.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Yeah, so we beat Storm Knights. We lost to Knights. Sorry, my bad.
Mm,
And then we go on to beat the GGG teams in our
yep.
group. I think we had two of them,
Yes.
and then we also had Storm Wolves. Now,
Yep.
Storm Wolves was the really close series where
Did we win
I
that one?
think, yeah, we did. We went 2-1.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think we lost first game,
Yes, we
won the
did.
second one,
Which we should have won that game one as well.
yeah, and then the third game was the Tristana Echo mid jungle from me and Monroe into
Yes.
the Aurelion Soul. Right,
Dylan
so
didn't have a
like,
good game that day.
no, he did not. Um, so we win that one, and then we
I don't
go.
I feel bad for him because he was put into a situation that he didn't want to be in. Um,
I was told he
in
picked it.
no, yeah, that I was told he picked, but he didn't have like there wasn't prep time. He wasn't even play like meant to be like he was meant to be playing, but not meant to be playing. There
Yeah,
was a bunch of behind the scenes stuff that I can't really talk about. That like there was a lot of and Dylan's for sure a. By the way, I love him. He's a good friend of mine. Just for anyone, I'm not flaming his ass, but like he's a very strong mental state player. If he's feeling good, if he's feeling himself, he will roll people. If he's doubting the situation he's in,
yeah,
unsure of stuff, and has other worries going on in his life, bro's gonna go 0-10 every game.
yeah. Which happened because he was in the
Which
dumpster fire of a roster.
yeah,
Like,
and as I said, lots of background stuff going on as well, which made it
yeah,
very hard for someone to have a good mindset.
yeah. So we win that. We then because of that, so Knights went, lossless. They didn't drop a single set. We went second place in our group, right? And then Stormwolves came out at third. So we ended up getting to play Revolt in the round of six because it was 6 teams.
Yep.
And what kind of fucked us? Now, admittedly, we lost,
Did
right?
we
Like, we did
did we
lose.
lose the revolt one, or did we
Yeah,
win that
yeah.
one and lose the next
Now,
one?
now we lost. I was
Hmm,
I was furious
couldn't remember.
because you'll remember this once I say it. I was super
Oh.
unwell that day.
Oh no! You and Cinder like were both sick as Monroe had
Yeah,
a headache. Whole team was just like unwell AF, and
and
then I
like,
got sick 2 days afterwards as well, which means I would have been fighting infection. Dude, no!
so
Oh
so
man!
I
No,
and
you're
what
right. I do remember. That's pissed me off.
so what got to me is all I heard was, Daiuku's so much better than you. He's the second best mid in the tournament, and he's gonna whoop your ass. And then while being sick, I put him 16 feet under, and I kid you not, and I mean this in the nicest way, the rest of you fuckers ran me down. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
like
No, I remember that actually.
no one could
No, dude,
actually
I
tell me
remember.
I did not put him down.
No, I remember Cinder dying to like minions under his tower,
Yeah,
and
that's
I
what I
was like,
had.
oh no,
That's what I had to
he's
deal with.
unwell. Like he's not mentally ill, but he's just sick.
Yeah, and
Maybe a
so
little
like
mentally.
it was just really, really rough on that
Yeah.
day. And then so
Also,
we
I think
lost
our
that.
drafts were also like ass, which is
Yeah,
my
they were
fault.
not.
That was my fault that day.
Yeah, so that wasn't good. So
Mm,
we lose that. Now, admittedly, I think our only reason why we weren't like flamed as fuck from like the MCOM people,
because we were
um,
part of MCOM,
no, like I
and
mean
they were
like from
told to
the
not.
no. What I mean by that is
Someone got
because
banned for flaming us too much.
ah, because it was 4 MCOM teams. We
Yeah.
were not the first one to go out,
No, we weren't.
right?
We were the
It was
second last,
Jade
right?
Dragons that went out
Yeah.
first because they didn't even make it out of groups,
Didn't
right?
the only team that went longer than us was Knights, right?
Starcasters made it to round of
Oh,
six as well, and they lost to
yeah, no,
Stormwolves.
yeah. So they went out same time as us. It's just we had our game before them. They went at the same stage of the
Yeah,
bracket,
yeah,
which arguably we had the harder game, and we were sick. Like
and
I
still
can't.
nearly beat them. Yeah,
Yeah, I cannot believe Starcraft. Dude, that was.
but like it was
It is what it
hilarious.
is. It is what
Yeah.
it is, and it's not what it was.
But just looking back on that, if
Mm.
we now again, I'm giving us some games here, right? let's say, for instance, I can still be sick because I still rolled them. Let's say the rest of the team isn't sick, right? And
Hmm.
we get through Revolt, which I do think we could have done.
It wasn't. It wasn't. Sorry, hang on, real quick. It wasn't that your performance was lacking because you were sick. It was like you weren't able to have. When you get a lead, you know how to push your lead into the rest of it, and it's thinking that happens.
Yeah,
You for sure were struggling in the communication and like, how do I tell my team what to do for me to win this game? Mental fog because you were sick, which I know for sure if you weren't sick, you would have been all over the board.
yeah,
Like, do this, do this, do this. We win the game here, and like you would have been able to carry that victory to a win, even with us like inting, just because you would have been able to
yeah,
micro it off of your lead. But yeah, sorry, just go on.
yeah. So, like, let's say I give us that win, right, and the
For
rest of the
sure, it
tournament
does
still plays
happen.
out. We then, so I'm pretty confident Knights won the show match,
Yeah,
and I do think they pick us.
I heard they weren't going to pick us
Oh, they
because
won an all MCOM
they
final.
were, yeah, that, and they were like not scared, but like told to not pick us because they didn't want drama between the two MCOM teams looking bad.
What? Why would there be
Did you
drama?
not hear that? Because
No,
wait, you didn't? Oh,
nah. I knew that they wanted like an all MCOM final.
oh, okay.
I didn't hear anything about like drama. Admittedly, I think
Oh,
Tizzle was a bit
I
of a
was
crackhead.
I was told Tezzeret and Saku would go off in chat if we like were like playing against them, and it wouldn't look good for the org after they'd already been told to calm it down
Yeah,
multiple
that
times.
makes a lot of sense. They were not well
Yeah,
liked.
so
But
that's why they were told don't pick them in a way if it was possible, and they were like, oh, we
yeah.
don't have to worry about it anymore. But that was from my understanding of why it wasn't gonna
Okay. So if
come
that
out there.
happens, we then get WKW, right?
Yeah,
And I'm gonna be honest, and
we lose
this is
WKW.
we're like widely known. We were god awful against them in scrims. Now, I'm
Yeah.
not gonna lie, I'm throwing Sin under the bus.
Hmm.
That man, I swear, ran down scrims for fun because
Dude, no. Swelfie
he,
and Cinder hate each other, and they both think each other's like such an asshole, and
yeah.
they're both the nicest of people. And you know where it all came from? A single misclick emote after a solo kill. And like, it's so funny every time because I've been playing on WKW now,
yeah.
and like playing and scrimming with and against Swelfie. We hang out a bit, we're friends, and like I still talk to Cinder occasionally. And it was like, and I remember at the time where Cinder was like, "Fuck Swelfie, dude," and then when I'm
Fuck that
playing with
guy.
Swelfie, Swelfie's talking like, "Dude, fuck Cinder, man, that guy pissed me off," and then I was like, "You guys are both mad for no reason. You're both."
Yeah.
No, shit's funny, really funny.
But yeah,
And as I said, they're both really nice dudes. I think they're over it as well. I think they realized like it wasn't anything serious, but
yeah.
the stuff was just funny.
I think we could have taken them in the tournament games because I do think
Possibly.
I do think like all of our levels, especially mine and Cinders, because I'm gonna be honest, the scrim games there was a Diana game in there from somewhere. From me, I think I was
Oh,
like straight like for fighting games.
is that where you flashed and didn't ult, and then you dashed backwards and you ulted right after, which I have clips somewhere?
No, no
Yes, it
clips of
is.
it.
Uh, I won't bring it up. Okay.
There's no
Okay.
clips of this. All I know is every time we would scrim Easy Life, it was just a Diana game just for my own amusement. I was just seeing
Mm,
how many times I could attempt to kill him in lane. So like, was that good practice? No.
no.
Was that amusing for me? Yes. Um,
You are for
do I?
sure like one of the worst people to try and scrim and practice with, by the way.
Oh
Out
no,
of
I'm
like
aware.
so many, you are
It's
the worst.
no. Cinder would wake up 5 minutes before scrims and then
Doesn't
like
matter. He'd
run
still try
down
and play
seven.
them.
I would play them too.
Oh yeah, except complain about wanting to go to bed on Perma and be like, oh, why do we have to do this? And like, why do I have to pick this champion? Like, oh, just pick me this fucking champion that we're never gonna actually pick in a real game.
What do you mean? My Yasuo games are feared by
Yeah,
my team.
yeah.
The amount of Yasuo Akali games I've done in scrims, ironically, I could probably play it in solo queue now. Like, Those champions are just my scrim champions. And Yon. Yon's a bit of a scrim champion too. It's not a. And then on tournament games, oh, Malzahar's open.
Yep.
That's the champion. But yeah. So all I'm trying to say is, because this is setting up to my next move or my next topic. If we had have gone further, or potentially have even made the finals, there's a much higher chance the team stays together. Right? I think we might, a part or two may have been like moved on, but I do think the team itself may have like had a much higher chance of staying. Right? Because obviously the next part of the topic moves into where you all went.
WKW.
Yeah, I was setting it up.
Yeah.
Which obviously, you can touch on your reasonings behind, which obviously I know. But it was more of a, like, for instance, let's be real, I will never play on a WKW team.
No.
Like, not even, it's just there's too much water under the bridge. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't really know if it's the right org I'd want to be on. Like, nothing against the org itself.
I think both sets of people are aware, like yourself and the WKW people are aware that, like, we can be amicable, we can be friendly, we can, like, be acquaintances, but we will not be playing on a team together.
No.
Yeah.
Right. Which is, it is what it is. There's just some things that don't happen.
So some things in life are just like that, which is it's not a bad thing. You just got to acknowledge it. Is how it is. Yeah. Which has happened.
Yeah. So you move to WKW.
So
Dizzy, Monroe, and Cinder all go with you.
I'd sort of okay. See, here's like my annoyance. Fuck you, Neymar. Basically. Tries to snipe Monroe and Cinder away because they were like higher ranked in borderline diamond, and I think they hit diamond. And Nay's trying to legit, like, I'm throwing you totally under bus, but you can't deny this. Totally looking to smurf in the next games, or like wait for the next higher ranked tournament to come and have them on his team. Like Nay's for sure trying to weasel his way into tournaments again. And just wants to build Exodia team number 5, a team that he doesn't need to practice with. And then I told, like, Cinder and Monroe had both messaged me about it, be like, how's it like? And I was like, look, it may be really good experience if they actually teach you and do stuff. But from what I'm aware, they're just gonna rock up, play, and then fuck off. They're not gonna, like, actually, you won't get better at the game. They just want you because you're already better. Whereas, like, if we stick together, we can, like, keep developing on whatnot, building on a roster. I had known Karina or Dylan was coming to play with me. Like, me and him were, like, locked, essentially. I'd known this for a little while at this time. Like, I was pretty sure that's what I wanted to do. I wanted Monroe and Cinder to come with me because I got along with them. I had also spoken to Desi and had known tournaments aren't probably Desi's long-term goal. Desi will not be, like, putting in the same effort or, like, wanting to do the same amount as us. Now, I loved it. She's great. She's very nice. But she was self-aware that, like, oh, wow. When she sat in on a couple scrims with a different support playing and just listened, she was like, oh, there's so much I don't know. There's so much I don't understand. There's a lot more serious stuff. Like, I can't take the intensity of how this is played. And I was like, that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, we did have
that
to,
intensity.
like, drop it down a little bit in the comms. Right?
Yeah,
like,
for sure. Oh, just like letting her know, be like, hey, we can't be discussing matching skins when we're about to go into the fucking tournament game because there's so much more stuff we should be talking about rather than what color our champs are.
Yeah, it's flooding comms, right? Like, that's
Yeah, exactly. And it's just like, what you can do, like, what are your, like, mid lane matchups, and, like, who's got a winning lane, and where's jungle going to be passing, and, like, are we going to be setting up for this dragon, or are we going to take the herald instead? Like, what's our game plan going in for the first 10 minutes, instead of, like, hey, do you have the sweetheart skin? Because I've got the Valentine skin. It's like, bro, that's the least of my fucking concern right now.
Pretty, like...
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, yeah, no flame, but, like, it was just not what she... And she realized it herself after some talk. So I'd known I was going to be getting a different support. the WKW roster that was there was looking to shuffle around a bit. And Nova didn't want to be playing. Penguin wanted to go back to top lane, didn't really want to play jungle. He's only played jungle for specific people. Swelfie was considering playing support, so I would have had Swelfie support, me AD, Karina mid, Monroe and Cinder top.
Yeah.
Drat got pulled in out of nowhere, who I didn't know. We ended up getting Jay Donos, which is of the team of the Revolt tournament that we beat. No, this is Jay leaving his
GGG.
other.
GGG.
Oh yeah,
They
yeah.
were on
Sorry,
Guru
Revolt
Gaming.
tournament GGG team.
Yeah.
This is Jay leaving his other AD Stewie and playing with me, which he's mentioned before. Like, wow, I'm a very different, more vocal, more understanding player than him. And that's taken like me and Jay are still playing together at the moment. Our team's up in the air. We don't know what's going on. I'll talk to that in a minute. But yeah, our team had shifted, and that was like the supposed team. Uh, until fucking Nay comes in, steals my top laner, steals my jungler, um, takes them for like a couple games to scrim against Masters players, ends up dropping the team, not playing, not doing anything anyway. Monroe and Cinder are both left teamless, and I've gotten Spinach, who was like a Hecarim one trick in solo queue,
Yeah.
Drat, who is a Riven one trick in solo queue, and had only played one other tournament. Jay, who's left his other AD, and then Swelfie goes and plays for the other WKW team, which has got which was Gate Ads, Barky, Penguin, Swelfie,
Griff.
and Griff. Griff comes to play again.
Yeah. Griff's he's
We
back.
love Griff.
Raised him from the graveyard. Yeah.
Yeah, he has actually been pulled from the fucking grave to play. And then we're like, oh fuck, this team is like, and not, like I love Spinach. He's put in a lot of work and he's gotten a lot better, especially coming from a Hecarim one trick. Karina obviously was a really good player. But like we had some issues in the fact that like, yeah, Drat's a very specific type of carry player that the game is almost always decided upon how he goes, and at any point could be flipped and lost by him as well.
Yeah.
Um, there were some ego issues because he was a higher rank, but he didn't understand a lot of stuff just in fives. Um, and we didn't have any tournaments to play in, scrimmed the same few teams. We did well to start off with, but that's just because it was some hands gapping.
Yeah.
And then once people figured out what he does, like
He
there was
counted
just
it.
like disaster across the map. The only person that like would have good performances was Karina. And he got neutralized because Griff had just sit under his tower and farm all game, as
Yep.
Griff do.
Griff
And
likes
which
Griff.
isn't
Do.
incorrect. Griff
Yeah.
does it really fucking well and neutralizes Karina's entire way of playing the game. There was very little once we started losing, which was only a couple weeks in, our support got sort of thrown out the window. We didn't get the sort of actual coaching. We got a lot of results-based analysis. We had some individual coaching. There was some improvements, but then there was like when you lack a goal, a tournament to go towards, other teams to play against, and you keep losing to the same two teams over and over again. Even though both teams are like borderline Diamond Masters players, and we're all like not of the same
The
caliber.
motivation's gone.
The motivation just like goes out the window. Their like communication problems start appearing. Like egos start clashing, personalities start like I know me and Trap probably don't play well on the team together just because like he didn't have a lot of
You're
respect
both strong
for
side players.
like yes, but I was willing to play weak side. Like I have been willing to play weak side. I don't enjoy it, but I will do it. He would never be willing to drop ego, play weak side, and then he wouldn't have respect for opinions that I held upon the game whatsoever if I wasn't winning my lane or like strong siding. But when we're constantly playing strong side top, I've never got an opportunity to do that in the first place. So there's a lot of disconnect there. So Drat left to Vincenzo's team. Once he hit Masters, his ego went through the roof, and they were looking for only like Masters players anyway.
Yeah.
Karina has left because he didn't see any progress and the same amount of work going into the team, which is fair. And Gate Ads is in Korea for a while. Barky won't play without Gate Ads. Penguin basically can't play at all because he's doing is I don't know. Penguin's got hella like uni work to do.
Yeah.
So there's Swelfie, me, Monroe, Spinach, and Griff are all sort of the leftover. Oh, and Jay.
Yeah.
We're sort of the leftover players,
Yeah.
and we're not sure who wants to play, what we're gonna do. We literally haven't spoken about it because I left to Japan obviously in November. We were like, cool, we'll talk about it when we come back. January starts. We'll wait for a tournament to rock up and actually like figure out what we're doing. Um, yeah, so we need to figure out what we're doing. So
Yeah.
at the moment, our team's legit in limbo. I need to start the conversation with the boys and be like, hey, what do we want to do? Obviously LCO stuff is just will be starting very soon.
That's
Nova
tomorrow.
is no Nova is in Kanga, so he won't have time for us like at all. Pastor's also working in Kanga, so he won't have time. I had a couple sessions with him. Incredible understanding. Helped me learn a lot of life stuff, totally separate from League. About like my diagnoses and whatnot. Like great sessions with him. Highly recommend. Anyone who needs stuff, go talk to Pastor. Great guy. So we won't have the resources there, and then yeah, so we're just legit not sure what's going on. As well as when a tournament is announced, obviously, but when it can be spoken about, I think stuff will kick into action. But until that happens, we're sort of just in limbo.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because off
get
of
ass
that
and Baki
cavalry.
suck. There you go. There's the shit talking.
They do. I agree with you on that one. But
Get ass is in like bronze in Korea right now, or like gold in Korea right now. So I mean,
that's about
get
right.
ass.
He kind of washed. Can't play zero anymore. Unlucky brother.
No, bro's focusing on his life, and it's really cool to see what he's doing at the moment. He's over there studying for like 3 months.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But yeah. So off of cavalry, I myself kind of went into limbo. I was like
yeah,
just for funning on everything to gain for a little bit. I think there was like a tournament that ran. It was like a once off like one night thing that they like host.
yeah.
They paid the prize money for because they wanted something to play in, and Revolt hosted it.
Hmm.
And I was like,
Yeah, I
oh,
remember it happened,
weird.
and I remember we couldn't make it because like 3 of our teammates just were busy that night.
Yeah, so we
Yeah.
played in that, and it was very interesting. Like, don't get me wrong, none of the players are like super bad. I
Mm.
didn't really get on with Paranoid, uh, who I've actually played on with in a team beforehand. The team that unironically I played with Gay Dads and Baki on, and so so I played. So that was not a very good like pairing. Admittedly, I also didn't have too much motivation.
Mm.
Like motivation is a huge key thing, especially when it comes to like low elo for fun League of Legends. Like
Mm.
I always played fives, play in the tournament. So
Yeah.
I would deal. Admittedly, you say I'm one of the worst people to scrim with, but I would
You
play
are, you
scrims.
absolutely are.
I would
Unless
deal
there's
with those
something
games.
serious on.
Yeah, like I would deal with those games. I deal with the flex games, knowing that in 2 days time we have a tournament.
Yes.
Right, the moment it's yeah, we're gonna scrim. Oh yeah, what's coming up? Oh, more scrims. Oh, we're gonna
Yeah.
play flex.
Yeah.
Are we now? And then
Yeah.
that's when all my motivation goes down the shitter.
Yeah.
Or if the
Which
rest of my
I
map
don't blame you for. Some people just can't hold themselves to the same like disciplined level without there being some sort of external motivator. Like
mine's
I
all
can't do
ego.
that. Yeah, see, I can't do it when it comes to like other things in life. For League, I can do it, but not for
Yeah.
like other things. Um, and I think it's also really hard. That's why you see pro players have like serious burnout and ups and downs in the skill level. Is because can you imagine holding yourself to such a high standard, self motivated, consistently? Especially if you were already one of the top teams. Like I
Yeah.
think C9 is a perfect example.
Oh,
They
here we
won
go.
3 times in a row, and then
Oh,
they
weird.
fucking oh yeah no, but
Yeah,
then
weird. Weird.
they absolutely drop the ball and play horribly in the last couple games of the LCS finals and end up losing to um I can't remember the team name, but I know it's the FBI's team. Who
About
ended up
100
going.
fees.
Was that 100? No, it was after
EG.
FBI swapped.
Evil Geniuses.
It wasn't EG. No, it was CLG.
You're talking about the most recent one.
Yeah. I'm talking about
Yeah,
the most
yeah,
recent one. Yeah,
CLG, yeah.
yeah. Where they like absolutely should have won,
Hella fake it.
dropped the ball. Yeah.
Yeah,
They absolutely like dropped the ball hard and then just like griefed and lost their chance at having 4 in a row. Which is like obviously when you're like unchallenged the best consistently, it's really hard to get motivated and like keep
yeah.
motivating.
It's not
Um,
it's a very rough state to be in. I
yeah, for sure.
like the anagram is always it's easier to climb the mountain than to stay at the
Yeah,
top of the mountain,
yes.
right? And on my little like tangent,
Mm.
I find the same at the gym, right? If I see the person now, admittedly, I do hit classes, right? So everyone's doing the same kind of workout. It's not.
It was CLG that became NRG at the start of 2023 summer. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the team.
CLG,
NRG. Yeah, CLG, NRG. Same thing.
CLG, yeah,
Yeah.
same thing. Yeah. So if I see the person next to me is like they're maxing out, they're going heavy, they're like
Yeah.
they're actually going for it, then I'm like,
Yep.
fuck, I have to go for it. Whereas if the
That's
person
just
next to me is,
that's just
you know,
competition. Like it's such an ingrained thing in humans. Like competition is, especially in men, like it's tied to testosterone directly.
Yeah.
Like there's science on how testosterone increases like the need for competition. And that's why it's good to have other people around you who strive more and are not lazy because it will motivate you to do better. If you
yeah,
surround yourself with people who don't care and are lazy, you will not find success. Like it's just this isn't even like, oh my god, Collat's spouting some fucking Andrew Tate bullshit of like some Sigma male. Like no, like this is just
just shave your head.
proven psychology, bro. Like this is exists.
Yeah.
Um,
Um.
so like definitely surrounding yourself with people and like keeping yourself in an environment that keeps you constantly challenged will keep you going higher.
Yeah, and like a league team is the same thing,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. It goes to
If
all walks of life.
if I see my four teammates are all
Mm,
just like, let's say you run me down in scrims, right? Or
mm.
like all four of them, they run me down. And then after scrims, they're like, oh yeah, I'm off. And then they all go play like Valorant or CSGO or something.
Yeah,
And
dude,
it's
that pisses me
like,
off.
okay, like I don't get me wrong.
Mm,
Obviously, we play it for fun,
mm,
but you just ran me down. You're not even gonna put more time into the game, and you
mm.
currently suck right now. You know.
Yeah, that's why
Um.
finding people with the same motivation is really key for a team. Like really key. If you ever have like you can only have one piece of the puzzle that doesn't have the same like wants and motivation, and like that can crumble real hard
Yeah.
if there's no one keeping that in check.
Yeah. I mean, the easiest one is always the will to win, right? Like
Yeah,
I I started playing tournaments to win,
yeah,
right?
same.
Now I compromised some ethics, not in terms
Hmm.
of allowing Smurfs and stuff, right?
You had
Willingly.
very good teammates.
I so like the first time I won, I was on Jip's team.
Yeah,
I had Griff, right? And
yeah.
I was a silver 2 player playing an iron to gold, probably legitimately silver 2 at the time.
Mm.
And I played whatever the team needed me to play. I played pretty much Jarvan on repeat after repeat after repeat. I dealt with Bang Bang for like 3 months, who pure a hole. Like he was not a fun player to play with. He was like, obviously you know who Forgiven is.
No.
Okay, super toxic. Like
I don't
CS:GO.
know either of those names, but
Okay, well,
oh wait, Forgiven that. Yeah, no, sorry.
yeah,
I thought you were saying like it
no, no,
regionally.
no,
Do I
no, no,
know
no, no, no,
Forgiven here?
no,
No,
no.
no. I know who you're talking
Yeah,
about. I
yeah.
can
So
see
like
the.
I would argue very similar to that, right?
Yeah, real.
I once played a game, and now it was on stream, and I'm really glad someone counted this. This is after this is my little tangent. I
Yeah,
died 9 times in the game. All 9 times were because he told me to go in because I was streaming, and someone counted the amount of times he told me to engage. And then he
damn.
tried to flame me after the game for running it down when I was listening to every single one of his calls. Right, and like players I dealt with personalities like that, swallowed my ego and my pride to
Mm.
win, right? And then after that, obviously, I had the MCOM Gap roster, which, looking back on, should have always seemed a little bit suspicious. But I kind of, like, I swept under the rug. Obviously, I didn't know, but I didn't want to know.
Yeah,
You
you
know,
didn't look.
I didn't go looking when all the signs were there.
Yeah.
Right? The moment it came out, I was like, oh, that makes sense. Like that. Ah, yeah, I can see that. Because we were just so dominant back then.
Mm.
The only teams that came close were the other teams with arguably questionable players.
Yeah.
Love Jet, but he was very, very skilled to be in that goddamn bracket. Um, but yeah, my tangent. What was I saying? Yeah, so like I compromised back then with
Yeah, you
ethics
played
to
you
win.
played with really good people to get the dub because that's what you wanted was the dub.
Yeah, I wanted to win
Like
back
you
then.
want the win, yeah. And it's like I don't like you also was a lot younger at that point. I don't blame you for it.
Yeah,
Like I don't think anyone could say, man, put a 16-year-old in a spot where he can win a fucking like full tournament with a lot of like social rep with a really good team that probably shouldn't be competing, or make him actually like play with a really hard team, but you probably won't win no matter how well you play. It's like,
get bounced
dude,
first round. Yeah,
most people are gonna make that choice for whatever their reasons may be. Maybe I might learn for it. I just want the
yeah,
win. I might learn and want the win. I don't care. I just want to play. Like most people will probably like to be completely honest, take that choice. I think I would too.
yeah,
Like as much as I'd love to sit on my high horse and be like, no, I wouldn't. I'd actually really try and I'd play the team that would lose. Fuck off. No, I won't.
yeah.
I'm gonna take that win.
There's there's the whole like you don't follow basketball, do you?
No, but I can
No.
understand like
So
sports analogies.
okay, if I tell you Kevin Durant on the
Mm,
Oklahoma City Thunder, this
big
is one of the
duty.
most well known moves.
Mm,
He was up 3-1 on the Golden State Warriors.
mm,
Right, this is their 71-11 season. I think it was 71.
mm,
Right, they were like one shot short of the record. Or I think 72-9. I think was what it was, and so they're up 3-1. They ended up losing. Right now, the Golden State Warriors lost to LeBron in the finals. Obviously, that was the Cleveland "this is for you" moment. Probably one of my favorites in all of sports history. Uh, and so they went and recruited Kevin Durant, right, for the next year just because they lost.
yeah.
And I think if you are that good with an already good team, leaving your team to go join a team that's already like made it is a
Oh,
different story.
yeah, for real.
Um,
I think leaving a good team for a better, supposedly better team when you were that team's only competition, I actually don't like. Like it's just super team stuff that never works
yeah,
out. You see it in like LCS all the time. It was when like one of the biggest issues of it is like when fucking Team Liquid bought Impact off of C9, and then legit like the year later, Team Liquid buys Jensen off of C9, and it's like, dude, you're just taking the good C9 players just so you can like, and they're only like just winning as well each time. It was like, man,
so I'm gonna be honest. I think that was because of Double Lift. So because
oh
this is
yeah,
I think 2018 Double Lift had to do more, right? Because he
yeah,
had
yeah.
Pobelt at Impact in his solo lanes
I mean,
and
Impact the
Ole.
goat, but
No, weak side go, right? Like
the
it's
goat. He
okay.
makes strong side top
Anywho,
laners with
anywho,
like
anywho,
nothing.
from a
He bro, no Impact the
he's not
goat.
on Cloud9. Calm down.
I
Um,
don't care. Impact the goat, man.
and
Impact is the guy who picked Singed in 2017 Worlds
okay,
and won. He is my goat forever.
bro. Okay, yeah. So 2018, right? Like he had to do more on that team, right? Because
Yeah.
the pieces were slightly worse. In 2019, I could make a case Double F checked out because he could, because he had Jensen.
Yep.
He ended up
Yep.
getting Core JJ,
Yep.
and then he still has Impact and
Yep.
Xmithy,
Yep.
right? And then so yes,
Smithy probably at the time one of the best junglers as well.
I'd argue maybe the best jungler in all of NA's history. Like
Blabber's
that
got him
that
covered. Blabber and Meteos both have him
uh,
cleared, actually.
me,
They,
fuck
they, they,
off.
they
That's
do.
so
Stat-wise, they have
C9.
him cleared.
That's so C9 biased, brother. You
No,
know,
no,
one
okay.
day, no,
The
one day
Meteos one's a bit of a joke, but
we
Blabber
will
does have him
we will
cleared. I think
discuss this
Speaker's
one
got
day.
him cleared.
Fuck no. One day
Yes.
we will discuss this one day.
Dude, X-Smithy
Not
was a
today.
disgusting troll that won game through mental difference and the teams being scared to abuse him when he walks out of position because they thought the other team was better and was always behind him. And he would make mistakes with a mental advantage. He
Okay.
wasn't like he was good, but mental difference because the other teams mind gamed themselves into a loss.
So
Dude, you
we
would
will
watch it. You
we
heard
will
it on
discuss this.
comments.
We will
Yeah.
discuss this again at a later date because this
Yeah.
sounds like a fun conversation.
Yeah. We're also going
Um
for like what, an hour now?
yeah, it was chilling about an hour. So
Yeah.
what was I saying? So I was saying, brother, I actually lost my train of thought because of you. Do you remember what I was talking about?
Doubles
Ah,
checked out because he had the GOAT team,
because
and then
he could check out.
because he could check out. Yeah, I agree. I
Um,
think like that's what I'm saying. When you're at the top, undefeated for so long, and everyone else around you is so good, but you're not challenged,
yeah,
you will check out. Which is like why I said, like I don't blame him entirely for checking out because that's in the position where checking out is so easy
yes.
and so common.
But I think if he had a lost one of those splits, like
Oh yeah, he's
let's
not checking
say,
out. He's on the ball.
yeah, if they lose 2019 spring, which they could have easily,
Should have.
if they lose that one,
Yeah.
obviously, you know, MSI is completely different, and we're not going to
I
rewrite
mean,
history.
okay,
But
actually, I think he needed to have lost the summer split to be because he never cared about spring in the first place.
nah, so the way I'm seeing it is
I
they
sort of agree
lose
because
they lose spring,
yeah,
they come back and with a vengeance in summer.
yes,
Because remember 2016, obviously it was Yellow Star as a support, and then it swapped to Biofrost. They lost that
mm,
finals to the team he was booted from.
yeah,
That must have hurt,
yes,
right? And so they came back at that summer with a vengeance, right? Like
yeah,
they were on. Admittedly, Biofrost was probably very moldable, whereas Yellow Star would have been very like stiff because of the
yeah,
fact he'd been playing for so long, and that's the, you know, the new person coming in and the old veteran moving into a different team, which is why typically super teams don't work very often because everybody's
yeah,
got their own opinions and whatnot. But
mm,
but yeah, like just to rein this back into the conversation, I'm sure we can discuss all this much later. Could be a fun piece of content. Um, yeah, when you have the players around you and you're winning very easily, it's very easily just check out, right? Like and you don't actually have to improve.
yeah, yeah, for
Um,
sure.
but yeah,
Mm.
so
Well,
we can now pivot into you
last
know,
two sort of points can kind of be tied together. Our future plans.
yeah. So
What's coming up with 2024? What's on the market for the next couple of months? What's on the market for the later half of the year?
so in a few weeks, right? I've been given the all clear to talk about this.
Oh,
We
good.
are meant to have a tournament coming up. Now they are meant to be starting weekly. Let me preface what I'm saying. This is all based on knowledge I was given a few weeks ago. Things can change from there. I'm not actually on any of the tournament staff or whatnot. I just give my opinion to people who ask for it.
Mm.
Right. So based on what I know, we are meant to be getting single round not single round robin, single elimination 8 team tournament for the first few weeks. It will be a buy-in format, so where each player has to pay $2.50, so that's $12.50 per team. In which case there will then be a prize pool for the winning team, minus
Mm-hmm.
probably like a handling fee, probably like in terms of like casters and things
Mm.
like that. Again, money side of things not really my problem,
Yeah,
but
some legality payments and whatnot, correct?
yeah, and like
To
website,
make sure everything is considered official,
yeah,
some like upkeep costs to make it keep
yeah,
running, which I think is good. It also keeps the people who don't really care that much out of it.
yes. And so with that coming up, now it is designed at Plat to Diamond.
Mm-hmm.
That will be any player from Platinum 4 all the way through Diamond 1. Um,
Yeah.
Now I raised a concern with said party. I'm not gonna release who it was. But my concern was with a buy-in fee, you're not actually going to attract the plat teams, knowing they're going
Not
to
many
play
of
into
them.
diamonds.
Yeah, not many of them would be
Um,
attracted.
but in saying that, I think you could get, so it'll be kept at 8 just for format reasons, right? You don't really want 9 teams because then the bracket is completely rocky. You
It's
either
so
want
cringe.
8, 12, or 16, right? And
Yeah.
even 12 is a bit of an
12
odd
is
one.
gross, by the way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's still not a great bracket. You probably want 8, especially because they will be held on a weeknight.
Mm.
And so 8 is probably the best number because that's not too many games. It's kind of like a clash bracket, right? And especially if the games in the season go a lot faster, which for instance mine have been, right? My league games are averaging like 25 minutes now.
Real. Mine are like 35 plus.
Um, Maybe it's because I'm running them down fast, but
True, true, true.
true. Yeah, so with that, I think 8 teams is probably a good place to start. You allow the
Yep.
scene to slowly revive itself. Um, in the long run, so the format they're looking to take, and again, speculation based on knowledge I know, but things can change based on what they want to do. They're looking at
Yeah,
hosting,
nothing is confirmed, but this
yeah,
is the rough plan and outlier
from what
from
I,
what we've been told a couple
yeah,
weeks out of date.
yeah. So you got the weeklies, and then you would use like a Counter Strike format. You then have the minors,
Mm.
right? Which would be held on a weekend day. So that's where the final. So it'd be pretty much the same format, single elim, but the finals is a best of 3,
Yeah.
right? So that's why it would be on like a weekend because you get at least 1, maybe 2 extra games. Um, and then off of that, like the big event of the year would be the major, right? Obviously, I'm hoping they don't call it these like minors and majors because you probably pick up a much better name. That one would
I think
pretty
it's not
much,
bad because people know what it means.
yeah.
But yeah.
So that one would
Food.
be you would invite some teams,
Mm.
right, and you can qualify through the minor, like
Yeah,
for
if
the
you've been
event.
around playing, having a consistent like mid place in the weeklies, you played the minors, you had a decent performance,
Yeah,
like you'd sort of be accepted. You'd have a couple of the teams that won the other ones pretty consistently, pretty handily. They'd get like a, oh hey, we're running the big one, come straight in.
yeah,
Like VIP pass, you're a big team, we want you here.
yeah.
And then you'd probably have a couple of open spots just for like
Or,
who else
or
can
like
show
you
up.
run like a qualifier or something, right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
and the reason like that would be the big event of the year.
Yeah, and the only teams in the qualifier would be the teams not already in that tournament.
Yes,
So you
right.
don't have to play against the big names already and get locked out by them, which is
Yeah,
good.
which is what would used to happen in some events.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But with that, so the major, right? Again, rough
You'd
estimate
easily be able to run a 16
would
team.
be probably over 2 days.
Yeah.
You'd probably have to take the Saturday and the Sunday because
Yep.
this would be like the big event. But if you get enough notice, so for instance, if we're told it is 6 months down the line, right, and it's at this date, there's
Mm.
no excuse not to be able to have the days off if you are playing. Right? Obviously,
Yeah, very,
emergencies
very,
are,
very little excuses
yeah,
can exist.
right? Like,
And
obviously,
obviously, all the people that are playing in these are buying. They're people that care enough to give them money. They're people that are competitive enough.
yeah,
So these should be people that do care enough to make sure they have those days off. That's
yes,
why I think a buy-in's good because it removes those people that are like, oh, there's nothing on tonight. I guess I'll play a tournament.
yeah.
Let's see what happens. It's like, well, those people aren't even in the question. We're not catering to you in the first place. If that's who you are, this wasn't for you to begin with.
I think so. I used to go to like a card shop when I was in Australia,
Mm,
right? And I used to go sit down and play Yu-Gi-Oh. Now,
yeah.
admittedly, I had no money, so my sister brought me the cards and would pay like the entry fee. The entry
Mm,
fee was like $10. You get like a $5 pack for free, and then you're guaranteed at least 4 rounds of games.
yeah.
right? So like pretty much I'm paying $5 to be there for 3 hours,
Which is
right?
good. That's for sure worth it.
Yeah, and so that I could go pay $30 to go watch a movie for an hour and a half,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like it's what are you spending your money on? So I
Yeah.
think $2.50 per head. Now, admittedly, if you're on a team on an org and the org thinks you can win,
Yeah.
there's a chance the org will pay for your spot, and then if you win, you give the org back the $12.50 or whatnot, right? Like,
Yeah. That gets cut from your winnings.
yeah, like, and that would be very reasonable. I don't
Yeah.
because they take all the risk on it, and they reap, you still reap the reward as the player, right? Like, there's
Yeah.
there's
It's it's
ways.
it's genuine team sponsoring your players and showing real belief. It's genuine like team investing in a collection of boys, which
Yeah,
also or girls or they them's or everyone, but it's genuine like uh investment in a collection of people that like, hey, one, we think you can win, so we're going to pay your entry fee.
yeah,
Two, the only thing we'll take is back the entry fee plus maybe like $5 or whatever.
yeah,
So the team makes a bit, and the rest of the winnings goes to you guys. On top of that, because we're putting a monetary value in, we're risking something. We want you to win. Let's actually give them real coaching, real
yeah,
training sessions, good environments to work on. Let's give them everything we can so they do win, so we get our money back and you guys have a good time. And we present ourselves as a really good organization that cares about its players and does well. And as we've seen, MCOM has just collected a partnership team in LCO.
yeah.
WKW has grassroots, and some of the people working in it have gone up into Kanga esports. Um, like these are legitimate pathways to get to pro play,
Yeah.
so it should be treated as such. And the more treated, the better it is for the region as a whole. That I think that's also why you and me care about like creating content or like interacting with stuff on Twitter, trying to stream every now and again. Obviously,
I
like
like to flame
I'm not the
people.
best. Okay, yeah, but it makes a conversation.
Yeah.
And it gets interactions, and like we that's why we support Pike as well, because Pike does
Yeah.
so much for the region. Like we like to support the people that care and help out because this is what we care about. Like this is how I spend my weekends. These are the people that I like to be around.
Yeah.
Like this is what I enjoy to do. So I'd love to see it prosper and do well.
Yeah. Me
Which
too.
yeah,
I again, and I've ranted
and I
on
want them
this.
to be around to play in it too, right?
Yeah.
You want to play in them. Like if we don't support it, they're not going to be around to play in.
Yeah. I said this many times. I think the format before our region died, which it died, right? Like
Mm.
the
Oh yeah,
format needed to be adjusted. It needed
absolutely.
um and like because you could have easily have pulled the teams and potentially actual sponsors back then when the numbers were like, you're
Good.
packing 20
Yeah, yeah.
teams a night or whatnot, and all they
Yeah,
were getting
when
was riot pricing.
specifically when we were just lost the right pricing, and there was all of that confusion up in the air of like what's going to happen to LCO or was OPL at the time, what's going to
Yeah,
happen to like the entire country? Are we even going to get like riot support in the country for like issues and whatnot? Um, if someone jumped on it then, did everything that needed to happen, that's sort of happening now, as we've had many discussions about before,
yeah,
we could have been thriving. We could have absolutely taken it by the horns and made it better than the OPL ever was, into like a very clear, here's our amateur scene, here is our open tournaments, here is our pro play tournaments, and our pro play leads to PCS into worlds.
yeah,
Here's our path, here's our genuine sponsors, here's our buy-in, this is how it works, and here's our like large collection of people who are interested in it already. But an opportunity presented, an opportunity missed, but a new opportunity presents itself today
yeah.
in this next year, and we really want to make it work.
I
So many
think
people do.
I think this is the big year for our region,
Absolutely.
right? If we flop now, I don't think we will ever unflop, because to my knowledge, again, a little bit of inside information, this might be the last people who are willing to actually run like lower elo tournaments
Yep.
professionally, right?
Yeah.
And like, I mean, no shade when I say this, but
Mm.
an org like Revolt is not running a professional tournament; they're running a community tournament,
Yes. And
right?
there
Like,
is that clear distinction and difference that needs to be made and recognized.
yeah,
Yeah.
and because of that, it's it's such a higher step. But as a community, we also need to give feedback in a much more constructive way than what's
Yeah.
happened in the past.
Absolutely.
Because I used to be on some of the staff teams. I used to talk to a lot of people, and the way the volunteers, because they were all volunteers, they were all giving up their time for it. The way some of them were treated was actually very disgusting.
Oh yeah.
I
Yeah. I
remember
can remember this. Like.
BSV Josh. He would put in his own money every week to run a tournament for ingrateful people.
Mm,
Right? You'd have some of
yeah.
the admins who would sit. Now, some of them were very hard to talk to. Don't get me wrong. Some of them potentially could have used better customer service skills, but
Mm,
it was a volunteer position. So
yeah.
there's only so much you can actually expect from someone volunteering. But you still have to treat them in a way where you gotta give respect. If you have a suspicious account, you do not get to be mad at someone,
Yeah.
right? If your
Yeah.
account looks
Absolutely.
suspicious, right? Like if you swap Flash, onto D and onto F, and then one game I'm running teleport on F, the next game I'm running teleport on D. It's like, bro, you gotta have some fucking actually good explanation for this.
Mm,
And unfortunately, most people are gonna try and lie, and your teammates are gonna try and lie, and it's just a rabbit hole of shit, which did not help anyone, right?
yeah.
Because what would happen is you would hold up the tournament for at least half an hour, if not longer, depending on how clear cut and cutthroat the tournament admin wanted to be, and it was just so much harder to do.
Yeah. Sure.
Um, so I am hoping that the community has learned its lesson,
Yes.
and
We also have a lot of new people here that didn't
yeah,
experience a lot of what we used to deal with and experience. Which I want to show them good things. I don't want them to have to deal with it. I even am cautious of telling stories of how it used to be and old things because it's almost a dark, dirty history that we don't need to bring up. We don't need
yeah,
to like obviously you need to know it a little bit so you learn lessons from it. Just that's why we teach history in school. You learn from the mistakes of the past. However, there's also to a point where we don't need to emulate the mistakes by learning too much about it. We can acknowledge like there are some things that happened and this is what we're working for. This is what we're striving towards, and this is what we want to move on to.
yeah,
Better scenes, better pastures, and better community and professional interactions.
yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, as long as we all support each other, like
exactly.
I
Yeah.
think the last thing that's coming up, and I'm almost really shocked I forgot this, is again you mentioned Papa Pike.
Mm,
He's got his venture of his Stream Slam, which is like a
yeah.
streamer community tournament where the streamers get allocated a
Oh
certain
yeah.
amount of points, and then based on their solo queue rank, they cost X amount of points. And you gotta make
Yes,
a
sir.
team for that event. Now I do get to make a team for it. I've got Collat as my team captain.
Star player, baby.
Um, Star player because I can't play because I cost too many points. And
You're also the streamer, so
yeah, but I can still play. Um, but for instance, if I was
get on Pike's stream for it. Like it'll be more interesting if you're sitting there talking and casting with him.
nah,
You've done camera work before.
I would be flaming you,
Exactly,
especially.
that's going to be interesting.
I
So
was like,
go sit
Collat,
on Pike's team. Let me win for you.
Collat, we're 13 points and he's died twice. God, I could have got a gold player. Like,
Real.
and I could have played. So that's coming up in the next few weeks. Um,
Yes, looking forward to
and
that.
and I really want to make a content piece, but again, me and Collat got to sort out our roster because the only player on my roster at the moment is
Yeah,
Collat.
actually, I
Um,
totally forgot. I probably need to give you some help with that.
we may need to work some things out. So,
Yes, sir.
and then I guess the last thing that's coming up is I was accepted into the co-streaming program for LCO.
Big up.
Now to my knowledge, I do think they were kind of just giving it away to everyone, but I got it anyway, so that's a good thing.
We'll find out
Um,
how much they're giving it away because I applied as well. So if I get it, they're
uh,
giving it away. If I don't get it,
yeah,
it's well deserved.
yeah, or maybe you missed the cutoff point. But
Yeah, true. But
so yeah.
regardless of that, I'll be on your stream every now and again. We'll be talking shit, watching
Yeah.
LCO,
We'll be
making some
watching
content.
Iron losing. Yeah.
Yep. Kanga winning.
Up to
Yep.
tasks. Oh, wrong team. Sorry.
The teamless team. We don't talk about. Dude, I made a tweet of it. I don't know if I should talk about
No,
that
no, no,
actually.
no, no. We'll
No,
save
we'll
this
talk about it
for
another time.
another time.
We'll talk about it on the LCO coach stream when that starts up on twitch.tv/envious of me.
Oh shit, you're such a good.
Am I not the best guest?
Okay, brother. I had a 2-hour talk with Flinch where he actually just called out 80 carries and said he was 85. At first he was like, I'm 85% better than the rest of them. Now I'm 90% at the end of the thing. But that's good old Flinch for you.
Yeah,
So
did Flinch? Fuck, did Flinch mention me in that? I don't think he did.
because you were kind of like
Because
shit.
he knows I was actually good.
Yeah. We'll let you think
No,
of
he
that.
didn't say me because he knew. He
Okay,
knew.
okay.
Yeah, he's also my boy. Like he knows.
Yeah. He knows.
He knows.
He knows, and I know he knows.
Yeah.
Did you not get the reference?
Yeah.
Ah,
He knows.
he knows.
He knows.
Right.